Kalen Deboer and the Alabama Crimson Tide just landed a major recruiting target, and we have the latest on a 5-star wide receiver who Alabama is going after. We got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Alabama Football 365. If you are an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. But let's jump right into what we got for today. Coming from Rivals College Football Insider, Hayes Fawcett. Breaking news, class of 2027 running back Tai Phillips has committed to Alabama. He tells me for Rivals, the 5'11", 195-pound running back chose the Crimson Tide over Florida State and Stanford. A quote from Tai, "I'm home, roll Tide." So, hey, Tide, love the connection there. Let's meet him. Tai Phillips from Columbia, South Carolina. Hey, they're fans of a different SEC school down there, but that school doesn't even make the playoffs. According to 24/7 Sports, 3-star recruit, rated an 88 overall. 24/7 Sports has him ranked as the 48th best running back in the 2027 class and the 12th best player in the state of South Carolina. We can see by looking at our composite grade here, the 856th ranked player in the class of 2027, number 64 running back, and number 17 player in the state of South Carolina, according to the other recruiting websites. So ESPN, Yahoo Sports, Rivals, they're a little bit lower on Tai Phillips than 24/7 Sports is, but we're excited to bring him in to the program, and we can learn a little bit more about him via his high school athletic background. We can see here, this is from Andrew Ivins, one of the lead evaluators for 24/7 Sports. He is a track guy as well, so a very, very fast player here. State qualifier in the 200-meter dash as a 10th grader. Some of his numbers here: ran a 10.86 in the 100 meter and a 22.04 in the 200 meter. Not sure what a 1.2 is. Is that the maybe some sort of wind adjustment type thing? So not exactly sure what that is. So a track guy, as well as 5'11", 180 pounds. Usually the top running backs, their BMI is going to be really high. So you're looking for the people that if they plug their numbers into a BMI calculator, they're going to be overweight. Obviously, if you're a running back and a track guy and you're able to run that fast, you're not an overweight person. It's just, muscles type stuff like that. So not the heaviest guy in the world, but still in high school, still has his senior year ahead of him. Excited to bring him in to Alabama and excited to see what he's going to be for this team going forward over the next couple of years. The run game, it's no secret it wasn't good enough over the past couple seasons, whether that was scheme, whether that was O-line. We got to figure it out. So, dual sport athlete, excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. Another guy that we are excited to see what he's going to do over the next couple of years is Monshun Sales, a 5-star wide receiver. He is ranked the number 1 wide receiver in the class of 2027. Monshun Sales grew up in the state of Alabama. In fact, his nickname was Bama growing up. He grew up a huge fan of the Alabama Crimson Tide. However, that's where the good news stops. Currently plays at Lawrence North in Indianapolis, Indiana, and the Indiana Hoosiers are currently the favorite to land his commitment. It makes a ton of sense. Last year, Kurt Signetti won the national championship with 2 and 3-star recruits. What could he do with a 5-star? I don't even want to know. So really hoping that is not something that transpires, but Alabama has to get more aggressive in this recruitment if we are going to be able to reverse the course of where he is currently trending away from Alabama. 6 months ago, when I first hopped on the recruiting trail of Monshun Sales, Alabama was the favorite. Maybe it wasn't actually from interviews and it wasn't the way that he was feeling at the time, and it was just people connections and people knowing that he grew up as a big fan of the Crimson Tide. But wherever those reports came from, listing Bama as the favorite for Monshun Sales 6 months ago, we got to get back to whatever we were doing, whatever was going right. Alabama has to continue doing that because this is a player that you have to find a way to bring into the program. 6'5", 195 pounds, ranked as the 9th best player in the country by 24/7 Sports, number 1 wideout, number 1 player in Indiana. Composite grade has him even higher as the 7th best player in the country. Again, number 1 wideout, number 1 player in the state of Indiana. And his evaluation from Andrew Ivins, the director of scouting for 24/7 Sports, is so much fun to read. The top and bottom 2 bullet points are things that should get you excited and things that should tell you this is something that this is somebody that we have to be going after. One of the biggest freak shows in the country with his hulking frame and elite athletic markers. That's crazy. That sounds like something that sounds like a bullet point you would hear in like a bar, and everyone's just talking about like, this guy is crazy, and that's what they would say. But this is a professional putting down that line. Just a crazy thing to hear about a prospect. And then the final one, projects as a potential game wrecker for a college football playoff contender. Game wrecker. That's the kind of prospect that you want to bring into your program. That is amazing. That's someone that you have to get active and go after. Let's go through some of these other bullet points. We're just going to gloss through them pretty quickly. X wide receiver projection that can stretch defenses vertically with his speed and make contested grabs on the outside with his size. We already talked about him. 6'5", 195 pounds, is a big dude and fast as well. He's great at everything. He's the number 1 receiver in the country. That's what you'd expect. Took the next step as a junior and was nothing but a mismatch. Upward trajectory, exactly what you're looking for. The guy continues to get better. He's not resting on his laurels of being the number 1 ranked receiver. He's going to continue to keep working and keep getting better. Attacks leverage with easy acceleration, powers his way through contact without having to change course. So he's got speed and power, levitates to snag off target passes, got jumping ability, great hands, can run underneath the long ball, but also produce big gains in the quick perimeter game with his agility and strength. Shines as a move blocker on the perimeter. I mean, what is this? Great at the long ball. Great blocker. Great run after catch with the football in his hands. So he can throw him like a tunnel screen, which is the best play in football right now. All that's amazing. I mean, he's great at everything except for route running. Here, must keep improving as a route runner and fine-tuning his craft, but has an extremely high ceiling with his top-end gear and catch radius. So this is a guy with just mind-boggling upside. You can't let a guy who was nicknamed Bama growing up, you can't let that guy go. You got to find a way to bring that guy into the program. I know Indiana just won 16 games without stars on their offense. I get it. I know Fernando Mendoza didn't have a lot of stars. I know Omar Cooper Jr. actually has a good amount of stars, but Elijah Surratt didn't. Some of their other players on offense didn't, and Curt Cignetti did a great job with that. It's going to be very difficult to out-recruit Indiana because if you're a top recruit, you are looking at that and saying, I saw what they just did with 2 and 3 stars. What can they do with a guy like me? And you're going to be confident in yourself, and you're going to answer that and say, they're going to win it again with me. I'm going to go there. They can look at Alabama and say, well, Ryan Williams is a 5-star. They got a bunch of other 5 stars, and they only won 1 playoff game. Now you look at the history of Alabama, and it's a lot better than the history of Indiana. But you say, I'm not here to play history. I'm here to play football. And Curt Cignetti's here now, and we're going to win more with me. So I'm very worried about the chances of Monshun Sales committing to Indiana. It's something that is likely going to happen, but Alabama still can make their way in there. Kalen Deboer, head coach, got to point to Rome Odunze and say, hey, that's a guy, developed him well. He was drafted in the top 10. You could be the next Rome Odunze. Come get developed by myself, and offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, who's also the offensive coordinator at Washington. You could be the next Rome Odunze. That's the message. Say, that's the message. You pair that with, remember being a fan of Alabama? Think about being a kid, growing up, rooting for the program. You could be the next guy that all the kids in the state of Alabama look up to. You could be the guy that kids in Alabama are going to grow up looking at and want to play like you in their backyard, in their football games, in their high school games, in their middle school games, in their lower level football leagues. They're going to want to play like you. Who's going to be the next Bama? You were nicknamed Bama growing up. You could be Mr. Bama right now. That's got to be the message. There's so much meat on the bone, so to speak, here, if you're going to be recruiting Monshun Sales. There are so many ways to go after this. Alabama can't lose the foothold here. They got to make this recruit happen. They got to make this commitment happen. That's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Thanks for watching.